What else do I need to learn? I'm constantly learning new things, and it's sometimes in the back in the day it used to overwhelm me quite a bit, and I've had to. And this and thing is it got me in a chokehold. It got me in a chokehold real bad. Breathe in. What's going on? It's Elove here, and I'm trying to figure some things out and make some things happen. As I was mentioning with that question, what else do I need to learn? Recently, I realized I no longer really need to learn anything. The Everything that I'm learning right now is just taking things to a new level, and I'm so glad to be in this place where I'm in a state of thriving. But it took a lot to get here. Once upon a time, I needed to learn so much, and I was constantly overwhelmed by, cool, I have to learn how to read this book. I have to learn how to write this. I have to learn this new how to do inspections and how to do this and how to communicate these things and these new jobs and all these new people. And I had just a list of things that I really need to learn. But it was really important that I learn those things because when I said I needed to learn them, I needed to learn them because these skills were at unhealthy levels. This means that they were either hurting me or hurting people around me or preventing me from having the quality of life that I was wanting to live. So I had to change things, and I did that. One of those things that was like just really I needed to learn was being able to identify my emotions or just what was causing and triggering my emotions. At this point, I'm really good at identifying what may cause this. Maybe it's my hunger, maybe it's the pills that I'm taking, maybe it's the amount of sleep that I'm getting or the food that I'm eating. But then also there are other things that may trigger me. I may get defensive because you asked me 3 questions in a row. And so being aware of these things, I can now navigate those things and not blow up, and I can regulate them so I don't have to blow up in people's faces. My lack of my inability to label my emotions or label what was causing my emotions really impacted my relationships, my friends, and especially my romantic relationships. And I was on this goal. A lot of things that kind of spurred the wanting to get into coaching or psychology is because I really wanted to understand myself. And I was hoping by help understanding other people, I would get insight to how I navigate. And that actually was what it was most times, but it really is me understanding myself, then it helps me understand other people. But if I start to observe other people, I can identify trends and patterns in those people, and then I can look at my own actions and then assess them in the same way. And emotions are one of those. Even though I'm really good at identifying the triggers that I go through, I still struggle quite a bit with labeling emotions. My last class that I took was emotional intelligence and assessments. And even after leaving that, I realized the importance of emotions, but I'm still quite limited on being able to label them. So I now know that there are going to be 6 key core emotions that kind of influence all of the emotions. I promise you these 6, there's several different people that says there are only 3 or there's 4 or there are 5. People have different ones. But when I Googled it, the most of them said 6. And so the 6 that I've learned that I've been trying to identify this week have been disgust is one of the core emotions, surprise, happy, sadness, fear, and anger. These are the core emotions, and these emotions can be mixed together. But when I'm able to identify this, like even today, I had a conversation with my coworkers. We were talking about disgust, and they were like, "Oh, disgust has to be a part of anger." But I was like, I don't think I always have to be angry. I can be disgusted by something and not be angry. Um, I can be disgusted and sad that you presented that to me. I can be disgusted and also I can be curious and intrigued by it. I was like, oh, that is so disgusting. What made you do that? That is, tell me more. I want to understand this more. And this kind of led to several conversations about how even disgust may be more irritating and where irritating will fall. And this this is so good. I'm so glad I was able to have this conversation because it was actually tied to we're trying to implement these new strategies. Being in learning development, we're always a part of that change, and we have to deal with people egos so much, and people attach so much emotions to things. Even though a person cannot label them, they're still attaching all of these emotions. And so now I'm going down this route where I'm just trying to really understand this because it helps me navigate my personal relationships better, but also it can help me help others navigate these challenging situations when it comes to learning new skill. I know you may not be able to know these skills, but maybe I can help you label those and we can find ways to get around those or help you regulate those emotions. So even though I don't really need to know this information, I'm really glad that I get to know, I get to learn. So it's, I have to remind myself I want to do all the things that I'm doing now. I don't even need to do them. So if I take my day off, it's okay because there's not a need. So now I can just have fun with it. So do you feel like you still need to learn things, or are you more in that state of wanting to learn for fun? If you need to learn it, you better be learning it, okay? If it's a need, take action, figure it out. Especially if you're hurting people, hurting yourself, okay? Do better. But all right, later, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm actually cleaning tonight because my house is dirty, so I want to deep clean. So thank you for stopping by. Thank you for listening. I hope you got some from this, and I hope I get to talk to you soon later.